Welcome to Creative Chelsea. Sorry about the little bit of delay. I was having some issues. Hopefully that will pop up soon in everyone's feed and we'll be able to get started here with our unboxing. There we go. Okay. So if you're joining us, go ahead and say hello in the comments. It's really fun to see who is here with me. Hi, Connie. She just joined. I'm going to go ahead and add in here the link. If you are new to Paper Pumpkin and you would like to learn more about it, or if you're interested in getting your own, go ahead and click on this link. So this is the Paper Pumpkin okay. And then to enter the giveaway, so because I'm so late in getting my March Paper Pumpkin kit, the giveaway is both for March and April. So you can enter for both unboxings on the same form, okay? And the giveaway is actually for a 1-month subscription code. So it is not for this particular kit. It's for a future kit. All right. Looks like we've got lots of people who've joined us. Noreen is here and Craig is here. Let's see, we've got Rosemary, Denise, and Gloria. Trudy is here. Hello, Trudy. Anne and the Bling Bling Crafter. It's so good to see you. Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen. And Stephanie and Susan. I'm seeing lots of my crafting friends, as well as some new people. So glad you're able to join me today. So we'll just give it a quick minute. I know that some of you have had your Paper Pumpkin, the March kit, in your hands for quite a while. Stampin' Up! Had some shipping issues, which is pretty common right now in the world, and they weren't able to get all the contents for all of the kits at one time. And so they had one shipment that was just put on hold, and they received it maybe about a week and a half ago or so and got these out as fast as they could. And mine just arrived in the mail yesterday. And so we are doing our unboxing today. So I know some of you have also been waiting along with me, and we've seen some really fun and beautiful projects, maybe on social media. And so I'm glad that some of you are still willing to wait around for my alternatives and for my unboxing today. Sorry, my voice. Let's see, it looks like Susan says that she just got hers, so she is in the same boat as me. So we're excited to open up our box today and see what's inside and make some beautiful things. So for today's video, if you're new to my unboxing videos, I open up the kit, show you everything that's inside, and then we make the original projects. And then there's always kit things left over for me to use for my alternatives. And because today is Thursday, I'm thinking my alternatives will come out starting Monday next week, and hopefully will run through most of the week, just depending on what's inside and some of the ideas I'm able to come up with. So let's go ahead and open it up. So Stephanie says that she's waited to open up the box with me. Oh, Stephanie, I'm so glad. You're so sweet. And Gloria says that she loves my alternatives. Thank you, Gloria. So one thing that I was really excited about for the March kit is that it's going to have 2 stamp sets inside. The first one is the stamp set that coordinates with the project inside. Let me grab some white paper. Okay, well, cream colored paper. So this is the stamp set that's going to, we're going to use, I think, for the projects. And my first impression is that I really like it. I love when we have 2 different fonts and some large and small image, like greetings. It looks like it's really versatile. If this was the first stamp set that you get, you're going to be able to make a lot of things with it. And then we have some fun images. I love images that repeat and can be used kind of as a background image. And then I am a sucker for floral as well as leaf images. And so I always love when I can add more to my collection. So that looks like a fun one. Some of the greetings say, I will always be here for you, thinking of you, congratulations, a little note, hello, and thanks. So the second is, let's look at this little flyer. It says, here's a big thank you. So we're so grateful for all of our Paper Pumpkin subscribers. So there are 2 stamp sets in this kit. I can't remember when Paper Pumpkin came out, but they usually will do something like this around their birthday. And so I'm guessing that March is that birthday celebration month for Paper Pumpkin. And so that's why there are 2 stamp sets in this kit. Looks like Deb is here. Hi, Deb. And Jane just popped in and she says, so glad I got my kit. I am too. Hopefully, Jane, that you have your kit as well. So this is the thank you stamp. You can see that it's a lot bigger and it looks like we have some like 2-step stamping. So there's this one big image here of a large flower and 2 smaller ones, and then more of like a detailed image that can be stamped on top. We've got some leaves, some little circles grouping, maybe like a center of a flower. Maybe that goes here in the middle, a solid circle, and then a couple more greetings. Time to celebrate, sending you birthday wishes, best wishes, and celebrate. So kind of a little bit more birthday themed for that. And then in every kit, you're going to also receive 1 stamp and spot. Sometimes they come with 2. It just depends on the projects. And another nice thing that I might want to note is that you shouldn't have too many repeats in a year. So they do a really good job of giving you new colors every year. So that way, because this is something you're going to hold on to, and you can always refill these with the re-inkers. So they do match the Stampin' Up! Colors. And so if by chance yours dries out, you can get a re-inker and fill that back up. And then you're also always going to have your stamp sets. And so it's, even though these contents you may use up as you make your projects, these stamps and inks, what you can always have on hand. So the other item that's in here is some ribbon. This looks like the color Pale Papaya to me, which is a nice soft orange color. I'll give you a close-up. Kind of hard to see against that bright yellow of the tissue paper. Rosemary says that she gifts out any repeat colors to other people, and that's a really good idea too. All right, so let's see what the project is. And by the way, I love the box. It's that fun pattern. It's really a fun one. So we kind of, if you have read anything about the kit before subscribing, you would have known it's for cards. And so it looks like there are 9 card bases included, 3 of all 3 designs. And they have kind of this landscaped watercolor look to them. So I'm really excited. This coordinates beautifully with some of the products that Stampin' Up! Sells on their online store. So if you really love the theme of this kit, you can check those out. They are called On the Horizon, Over the Horizon, something like that. And then we get some of these really beautiful iridescent rhinestones, which is another product that is in the online store. So if you love these 2, you can purchase more of those. And then I forgot to mention that the April kit is all about change, and change is beautiful. And so it looks like there's going to be some butterflies, and I do know that those I think, our cards as well. So you'll be able to make some beautiful cards with that kit. So if you're not already a April subscriber, make sure to get online and you can use the link that I've added and subscribe to April's kit. So every kit also includes instructions, and so we'll be able to follow along to make the original projects. In the back, it will show you everything that you should have. So just in case you feel like maybe you've missing something, you can double check it against this picture here. It also lists out the coordinating colors. So if you are a Stampin' Up! Customer or demonstrator, you can pull out these other colors and make some coordinating projects with your kits, and everything will coordinate super well together. And then they do give you some alternative ideas here in case, you know, you need some other ideas on what to do with your kit. And let's see, sometimes they also say what coordinates with it. So it says, it just says visit online pretty much for coordinating products. Okay, so Gloria, just a couple comments that I saw pop up. Gloria says that she always used her ink spots. She doesn't have too many of the big ink pads, but she has the reinkers. So that's really nice that you're able to continue to use these ink spots. And Stephanie says that she loves to use the ink spots on her Stamparatus, which is a really good idea. I'd never thought about that, Stephanie. And the reason I like that idea is because the plate for your Stamparatus is so big that sometimes those big ink pads will leave markings along the plate. And so the smaller ink spot will give you a more precise area of inking. So I like that. Thank you for your suggestion, Stephanie. And hello to Karen. She just jumped on. Good to see you. All right, so let's go over everything that came in the kit. Let's start with the card bases. It looks like they are all printed on basic white card bases, but they come with this beautiful landscape printing. And again, you're going to get 3 of each design. I love the watercolor landscapes here. It's really pretty. Got kind of a blue, gray, pink sky, beautiful mountain range, and then some even floral images down there. Very pretty. Let's go to the second card base. This one feels a little bit more like a lake background to me. We've got some beautiful sunset colors that are maybe shimmering off of a lake, a little bit of foliage in the background, and then more of just kind of a clear white. And you have 3 of those card bases as well. Then we've got this fun pattern. And the nice thing about this pattern is it's not just one solid color. We've got all different colors to bring in all the coordinating colors of the kit. And you can see that there's some distressed areas as well. So that's fun that it's not just a solid pattern there. Okay, so then let's look at the envelopes. Many of you know how much I love pattern envelopes, and we have 3 different envelope designs for this kit. So this first one has kind of those pale papaya colors. It's very light. It might not be showing through the video very well. And then on the inside, look at that fabulous pattern. It's just got this beautiful, kind of the old olive green color in a vine pattern. Let's double check that it goes all the way through, and it does. So that will be fun to cut those up and use those in our projects. The second one has the green, kind of that same pattern as the first. And then the inside is a blue, kind of like a misty moonlight, which kind of coordinates well with our Stampin' Spot. It has kind of makes me feel a little bit like a wintry day with the little dots and the different cloud distressed. Some are light, some are dark areas. So that's beautiful paper. This one's got more of a yellow look to it, yellow and white. I love that they're printed on both sides. So then we've got that fun pattern again with the different colors and the brightness of the yellow. It's definitely brighter here on the back than on the front, probably so that if we're mailing it, that color doesn't affect the mailing. And then I love this. This is something new. I don't remember seeing this type of product in any of the kits before, but this is embossed paper. I love that. It's got kind of a chevron look to it, and it's a rectangle shape. Okay, and that's in white. So I love that texture. I don't know. Do you guys remember them ever embossing paper for us from the kit? I don't remember that. Noreen says that she agrees. She likes using it with her Stamparatus. So again, we're talking about the Stampin' Spot. Deb says, I couldn't wait to open my kit, but I've been waiting for the alternatives before she uses it. Well, you guys are so sweet. I hope that they are worth the wait. And Grace, she says that she loves this kit and she's waited a long time, but it's so worth it. I agree. Just so you know, if you're interested in refills, they did become available earlier this week. So I'm hoping that they might still be online. I haven't looked at it recently, so I don't know. Okay, so Rosemary is reminding me that they did have an embossed with a sweater-like pattern a couple years ago at Christmas time. That I do, and I am starting to remember that, Rosemary. Thank you for reminding me. So this is another die cut that comes in the kit. You're going to get 3 of them. It's a long rectangle, and it's got that leaf pattern in Misty Moonlight. Really, really pretty piece. Kind of wish they would have given us a bigger piece, right? So that's beautiful. And then we've got this Evening Evergreen dark green color. It has a zigzag edge to it, and it's just a solid green die cut there. You have 3 of those. And then we've got some labels. There's another long rectangle label and another label with kind of a chevron ends to it so that you've got kind of have that pointy end shape. So you'll have 4 of those. And I like that they give us a couple extra labels just in case we stamp something a little bit wonky and we want to redo it. Always remember that on these white labels, that if you do stamp it, you can just flip it over to the other side. So you don't have to throw those away. So here we've got some pale papaya, and it's kind of a another label with the chevron ends. I think that's what, I don't remember what this is called. I guess it's like an elongated hexagon, right? So 4 of those. So we probably will have an extra one of those after we're done with our kit. And then we've got some more die cuts, and these are pretty delicate. And so you're going to get 3 sheets of each of these. So I'm not going to actually take them out until we use them, but we've got this nice tall leaf. Then we have kind of some cattails looking shapes, another leaf one, kind of this sun with a design inside, and then 2 mountains. And so those are really beautiful. I love little detailed die cuts. They're so fun to layer onto cards. So that will be fun to play with. And then some more. There's a lot to this kit. Let's see. I just saw Gloria's comment pop up. She says, I liked the white embossing paper, but it hid a lot of the design from the card. So maybe an embossed folder on vellum can be used. That's a good idea too. And Antoinette, she is here and she's watching the unboxing and she's thinking about getting a paper pumpkin kit. So if you are interested, this kit is actually no longer available to subscribers. We will be getting our next kit is April's kit, and it's kind of more of a butterfly themed. There will be cards as well, if I remember correctly. So you can get more information about this kit by using the link to the top of the comments, I've added a comment with a link to get your own kit. So make sure to check that out, Antoinette. All right, so this really beautiful color, this feels a little bit like Flirty Flamingo or Calypso Coral. Let's see what color they say, Calypso Coral. And you've kind of got that distressed look. Again, feels a little bit like snow with those random dots on there. And then this one's a fun one. It's kind of random stripes, very tiny little strip there, and you get 3 of those, and then a solid old olive piece here. So that's fun. Okay, so I'll put those off to the side and we'll be using those on our cards. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I missed. They always include some adhesive. So for this kit, we've got glue dots and dimensionals. And then the other fun thing about this kit is that it actually came with 2 different types of embellishments. Most of the time we only get one. It's either the rhinestones or ribbon, but for this kit we've got both. And so that's really fun to be able to embellish those as well. So I think that's everything. So let's go ahead. So hi to Susan. She says she's upset that she got her kit so late. I did too. That's why we're here, Susan, is because my kit just arrived. So we're in it together, and just know that those alternatives and things are still coming. So let's begin with our card number 1. So this is the landscape design. So I'm going to gather the things that we need and then we can put it together. And these look like they're going to come together really quickly. So from the die cuts, just be so gentle as you pull these out because they are very delicate and they are still attached in a couple areas to the paper. So you don't want to pull too hard on them. So the little cattails, and then we need the striped calypso coral piece, and then the sun. Okay. And then it looks like we also will need the little rectangle label. Okay, and we're not using any ribbon on this card. So they also give you some suggestions on where to place the glue dots. So they found a couple larger areas at the top. These little circles are glue dot images, and so you can add glue dots there. If you see something that is a hexagon, can you see that? Excuse me, it's a dimensional. So that's the kind of the key to understanding the images in the directions. I prefer to use my Take a Pick tool to add these to my paper pieces. So I just pick it up with the tip and add it, and then you can pop off the paper. I think it makes it so much easier, especially when I have those times when I've cut my fingernails down, which is what I did just the other day. And so I don't have much of a fingernail to help pull off those little pieces of paper. I'm going to go ahead and just add a glue dot to each one of these. There's always plenty of glue dots. And then I'm going to add some down here to the bottom. And that should just make sure to hold everything in place so it doesn't move around. These little paper pieces, they tend to get all over my craft room floor. Do you guys ever find them in the strangest places in your house? It's definitely something my husband laughs about, is when he can find the tops of glue dots or dimensionals around our house. Okay, so again, I put a couple extra on there. If by chance you notice that glue dot is hanging over, you can always just fold it back on itself. So just take off that paper. Do you see that glue is sticking out, and you can just fold it back. Okay, so there's that one, and then this strip of Calypso coral. They just put 2 on the ends. I'll probably add a third one in the center just to make sure it's adhered well. My hands look like they need a little lotion. Okay. Okay, and Gloria says, Antoinette, you won't regret subscribing, even if there are some that you don't like. There's always something in the kits that you can use on something else. And the stamps are great. It is, Gloria. It's a great way to, you know, kind of if you're new to stamping or crafting, it's a really perfect kit for new crafters. But if you are also have been crafting for a long time, it gives you a lot of wonderful supplies to be creative with. And so you also will be able to hold on to some of the supplies and you can grow your crafting collection. And the nice thing is it's small. This is all that is left when you're done with everything else. And so they can fit into a small box and it doesn't take up a lot of room. So thank you, Gloria, for that. I agree. And Rosemary, she said she got so wrapped up in watching that she let her hot tea get cold. Well, just luckily, you know, we've got microwaves and hopefully that will help warm it back up. Vicky says, yes, that's true. Vicky, she says, just so you know that it was beyond Stampin' Up's control that some of the paper pumpkin kits were not on time. And that's true. We talked about that at the beginning of the video. Thank you, Vicky, for bringing that up. It was just a shipping issue. They had nothing to do with it. I agree. And then Marlene's just joined us. Hello, Marlene. She's in Wisconsin. Okay, so let's get back to our card. I just wanted to mention that the more comments had popped up. There are some tools that I always like to have on hand for crafting, and one of them is a bone folder, and the other is, of course, my Take a Pick tool. So I love to have those on hand, especially when I'm doing my paper pumpkin kits. It looks like we begin adding, the first piece is our Calypso coral rectangle, and it looks like it kind of just sits right along here. And I'm just going to add it to maybe about an inch or so from the base. I wanted to see a little bit of those flowers popping through the top. It's hard for me to cover up this really beautiful image, this landscape. The next thing I'm going to add is the kind of the grasses, whatever you want to call them. They've got them up higher. I'm going to bring them down lower. I kind of like that, seeing that little bottom part. And just right there in the center. Gloria says that stamps from the paper pumpkin kits are always her go-to whenever she needs to add a sentiment to something. They are perfect for that. They give you some great sentiments that you can use for lots of things, even if it's just a quick tag for a birthday present, or you want to make a small little note card. They usually will include greetings and then an image or two. So you can always pair them up or kind of mix and match as well. And Sandy says, she can't wait for my alternatives. You're so sweet, Sandy. Thank you. So then this is going over the center. I think I might just off-center it a little bit because I noticed that I didn't quite add that centered. And this is such a bigger element visually. I don't know. I kind of also want to make sure those scallops are even and horizontal, not upside down. Okay, so those are fun. Now we get to do a little stamping. So whenever I open up my Stampin' Spot, I'll take a pair of scissors and score right between the base and the lid. Be gentle and careful when you come off that end right there. And then you should be able to open it. And then I do keep this one intact, so that way I know what color it is there. You can do it, obviously, it's your supplies. Do it differently if you want to. Also, in your very first kit, you're going to get a paper pumpkin clear block, and it is thin, and it will say paper pumpkin on one side. And then you'll just want to make sure you hold on to that clear block so that you have it for all your other stamps. Okay, what are we using? We're going to do a little note. So you just pull them right off. I always place my clear stamps on my table. They're very sticky. And then I pick them up with my clear block. That gives them a chance to kind of reform back to their correct shape. Go ahead and ink up your stamp. And then it is a good idea when you're using a stamp for the first time to just double check that it's stamping the way you want it to. Sometimes the ink, you'll notice, kind of pools together and you don't get a nice solid image. And there's a couple things that you can do to make it a little better. And one of them is to just clean it. So let me grab my cleaning pad. So I just use a, this is the Simply Chamois from Stampin' Up. And you just rub it on that cleaning pad a little bit. And that kind of removes any little residue that might be left over, from making the stamp. There we go. I think that's going to help a lot to make sure we get a nice, clear image. Okay, so you can see the difference between this one was just right from like the first one that we did, and this one is after cleaning it. So if you experience any issues like that, make sure to either clean it or try some of the other steps that I've shown in some of my other unboxing videos. So that's just going to go right there. Oh. Onto my white rectangle label right in the center. Make sure when you stamp that you stamp nice and even. Your pressure should be even. Then you can add dimensionals to the ends. And then this gets popped up right over this. So this is over just a little bit, so not perfectly centered, so that you can see a little bit of that pattern underneath as well. And that card is almost done. Just need to add a couple little rhinestones. I love these rhinestones. They're one of my new favorite products. So it looks like they've used 5 on the card. They have a little white dot that kind of shows you where they've placed them, but it's a little bit hard to see. So you just put them wherever you want, wherever feels good. Let's put another one up a little higher. Okay. So do you see that beautiful shine? I added a large one, small one, another large one, and then 2 small ones. So pretty. Stephanie says that she keeps the stamp sets from Paper Pumpkin in a binder with the instructions. What a great idea, Stephanie. And she also says you can clean a new stamp with an eraser too. Yep, I've heard that. So you just take an eraser, and you might want to use like a nice white eraser, and you just rub it over the stamp, and it gives it a little texture to hold on to that ink. And then Marlene says, I never know where to place the bling on her cards. So one thing that I like to do when I'm adding bling, Marlene, is to keep it in an odd number. So you'll notice here that there are 5, which is an odd number. If I'm going to put 3 together, then I create a triangle. And if I'm going to just do 3, like if I'm doing 5 and I want 3 together, then there's a triangle, and then the other 2 are kind of scattered opposite of that triangle. If I'm just going to do a total of 3, then I make a triangle with those 3. So, and I kind of place them more around the card or around a central image like this one. So that's how I do it. There's no right or wrong. It's totally a personal preference and up to you. Okay, let's go ahead and move to card number 2. This one is the pattern background. So we'll grab that one. And then we're using both leaf dies here. So again, gently remove those. And then we've got the dark green zigzag border and the calypso coral snow dots. So, and then we're just going to add glue dots to the beginning of the, or to the back side of those. That's our first step. So you can add as many as you want. I think I'm going to kind of do every other and opposite. So I got 1, 2, 3 on this side, and then over on that side, go down to this side, and maybe another one on there, just to hold that base down. Okay. Just to hold it in place. And a couple on these other rectangle pieces. Okay. So fold your card base in half along that score line, and then we'll be adding the calypso coral piece first. And that looks like it goes halfway. And just to make sure that I'm adding it to my card straight, I'm just going to use my grid paper and line it up along one of those edges, just so that it's nice and straight against that grain of the card. Hi, Anne. She's just joined. So good to see you. Oh, I forgot. I just noticed that the first green leaf is actually behind the calypso coral. But, you know, we can do our things our own way if we want. And I'm just going to put both of them together in front of it because I want to. And I made a mistake, but that's okay. There are no mistakes when you're being creative, right? Because it's just what the process. So I'm going to add this first one on the right side. Now, if it really bothers you and you want to do it exactly like they have it, you can gently pull up that calypso coral piece and put it, you know, put down the leaf first if you want. And then this next one, I'm just going to place right next to it. I like that the shapes are a little bit different. The sizes are a little bit different. And so they layer really nicely over each other. And then we add our evening evergreen piece. That goes in the center. It overlaps just a little bit the calypso coral piece. So just try to keep that nice and even. Okay, for this greeting, we're going to use the elongated hexagon shape, and we're going to do thanks. So I'm just going to clean this one and put that back with the stamps. And we'll grab the word thanks. And because the first one I had a little issue with, I'm going to go ahead and just clean this one before we ink it. But I am going to still do a test just to make sure. So if you're new to stamping, when you ink up your stamps, you just want to just press it as if you were kissing someone. So you don't need to press very hard. You're just kind of tapping. You do want to make sure you get good coverage. So I will usually tap a couple times in the same area. And then just line it up in the center and stamp. Oh, shoot, you guys. Why did I not look at it? I stamped on the wrong one. I wondered why that wasn't fitting so well. I just saw this, and to me, my brain said this was the right label, but it's not. So we'll flip that over and do the right one. We're going to do it on the yellow elongated, or like the peachy elongated one. Too bad you can't yell at me and say, stop, that's the wrong one. We'll try again. So I'm seeing that my ink is kind of pooling a little bit. So I'm just going to ink that a little bit better. Push that back out so I get a good image. And then stamp that right in the center. There. Okay, that looks better. Or not really better, just that's what they wanted. So I'm going to add a couple glue dots to the back corners. And then that gets added to the blue strip here. And that goes in the center. Oh, it's so hard to cover up all that beautiful pattern, isn't it? And then this whole thing gets added with dimensionals. So I'm going to just add maybe just 3. I think that's probably enough. So the Bling Bling Crafter says, I've always said there are no mistakes in crafting, just new beginnings. So true. And hello to Dawn, she just jumped on. So then this goes over just slightly. Oops. Okay, just need to make sure it's on there nice and even. Okay, I love those layering of colors. It's really beautiful and fun. But I don't love how that is even right there. Maybe I need to do it a little lower or bring it up a little higher. So can I carefully pull this off? What do you guys think? So I'm being really gentle and just slowly moving the dimensional off of the bottom layer. You guys, I do this all the time when I'm crafting. I think I have something where I want it, and then as soon as I place it on there, I realize it's not what I expected. Okay, next layer's coming off. Do you think I can do this one? There we go. This one's nice because it's just some small pieces of adhesive. Okay, I'm going to do this just a little different than what they have it. So I'm going to add this where I want it on here, which is, I'm looking for the top of the green to be about centered on there. Okay, so all those pieces are now together. And then I'm going to add this here. Let's bring it down just a little bit more. Okay. Oh, see, I'm getting it lined up again. Bring it down even more. Okay, that feels better to me, so that things are a little bit more staggered than the when I had it originally. And then we're adding some more rhinestones. So let's kind of follow that triangle idea again. So I'm going to use 5. So I'm going to first start with 3. So I've got a large one, maybe a small one, and then I've got 2. So then I'm put another one up there to make 3. And then down here we'll just do 2. So maybe a large one there, and then a small one. Actually, I think I'll switch those up because the large one is easier to see. And so I'm going to put that down where the pattern is. And then the small one we'll put where it can be seen more clearly in the evening evergreen. Okay, so that's how I usually do it. So that card is all done. Let's see, Anne just says that she rarely gets to see the videos live, and she's so happy she did today. Me too, Anne. It's so good to see you. Anne lives in my area, and she watched my videos and was able to contact me, and we've gotten together a couple times to craft, and so it's really fun to see people reach out. I love it when you guys reach out and get to know me a little bit better, and I get to know you too. And then when I see your name pop up, I know I have a connection with you, so it's really fun. Okay, so for this one, we're using that beautiful embossed paper. And Crystal, she says that she's looking forward to playing with this paper pumpkin. It's a really beautiful one. I am enjoying it as well, even though this is the first time I've actually been able to play around with it. I'm excited for my alternatives. I think they'll be fun to experiment and be creative with the kits, the pieces in this kit. Okay, so for this one, we're also going to use the mountain die cuts. And then we've got the old olive piece. And we're going to use the other side now of our elongated hexagon. So 2 sides to every piece, so that's nice. It also looks like we're going to be using some of the ribbon, so that will be pretty to add to our card. So let's start with our glue dots. Couple there. Then add a couple here. And some on the green rectangle strip. Okay, so I'm going to look a little closer. It looks like the embossed piece goes down first. Now, if you're new to embossed pieces, there's a raised area usually, and then more of a impression side. So the raised area for me is the front, so that when you rub your finger back and forth, you're feeling that raised design. And on the back, it feels more smooth and it's been impressed, pushed down into. So this, they've got kind of in the center, there's a little bit of a border hanging out on the right side. So place that one down. I'm going to do the green strip next. That will be kind of a good base layer to kind of add everything else around it. I don't know, somewhere around here. Looks like about a third or so, or maybe a fourth. So 1/4 down here and 3/4 up there. Just make sure that it's nice and even. And then you're going to go with the larger mountaintop. This is a really fun image. I like the little bit of openings that this one has. I'm going to just place this right on top of that green and kind of right in the center. I'll give you guys a close-up. Hi, Angela. She's here. And let's see. Oh, I also see a couple other people. Crystal. Oh, I already said that we have said hello. Gloria. Gloria is going to try to purchase a refill since she has very little left of this kit. Kathleen, good afternoon. Catching you on my lunch break. She has the kit but hasn't made anything yet. She's going to wait to see some of the alternatives. And Antoinette is wishing that she really loved the first card and she wishes she would have ordered this kit. It's beautiful. The other thing is that if you really like the contents of the kit, Stampin' Up! Does have products that coordinate really well. So they have paper that has kind of this same pattern to it, kind of this landscape watercolor look. So if you're interested in that, definitely check online and see about getting some of that product. Now, I am a demonstrator, so you can also do a search for me when you're purchasing online, and you just search for Chelsey Christensen, and it's the same as the channel name. So Chelsey Christensen as a demonstrator in Colorado is where I am. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our second mountain range. This goes just a little lower. Maybe I'm going to bring it down over the green just slightly and right there in the center. And Rosemary says, I'm not going to be able to cover up those gorgeous landscapes. I'm kind of having a hard time as well, Rosemary. Every time I add something big, it's a little bit painful. So maybe my alternatives will be so we can see more of that beautiful landscape. And Linda's here. Hi, Linda. And she says, your alternatives are always awesome. Thank you so much. You're so kind. So let's go ahead and add our greeting. This one is the I will always be here for you is the one that they've used. Of course, you can use any of the other greetings that maybe will work better for you and who you think you'll be sending these cards out to. Now, if you don't have the Simply Chamois, there's lots of ways that you can clean your stamps. You can, sometimes I just run them underwater if I've got a lot of stamps I need to clean all at one time. People also use baby wipes. One problem with baby wipes is that you do sometimes get a little bit of some fibers that get stuck to your stamps, but that's another way to do it as well. So I just kind of removed a little bit of any leftover residue on the stamps with my Simply Chamois. Then I'm just going to go ahead and ink it up and stamp it. Let's do a test before I stamp, especially since I've already stamped on the back side. That looks good. And that goes right there in the center. Okay. So before we add that, we're going to take some of the ribbon. It says 7.5 inches of ribbon. And for those of you who maybe don't have a ruler that long, they do print measurements along the edge out here of the instructions. That's a nice little thing that they do. I also like to use my grid paper when I'm crafting, so that there is a measurement down here at the bottom. I'm not sure if you can see that. Okay, so 7.5 inches. And then you're folding it in half. And then on the back side, since there's really no front or back, you're going to add a little bit of adhesive. So they've got one where they are kind of together. And then they've got some on each end. Okay, we'll see if that holds. I'd be quite impressed if that little glue dot is going to hold all that ribbon in place. I'm just going to use my fingers here because I can kind of peel back the ribbon. Okay. So take that folded edge, goes on the right side. Whoop, things are falling. I'm just going to place that there. Okay, that's what mine's going to look like. And then, oh, they put it on the back. Whatever. Either way, it works out. 2 dimensionals here. So they added it to the back of the label. I added it to the card. I think either one will be fine. And then this gets, the greeting is added in the center of the mountain range, not in the center of the white piece. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Then if you have a nice pair of sharp scissors, you can angle those edges there. Let me grab mine. I use a pair of fabric scissors for my ribbon scissors. There we go. So a little angle there just to make that look a little finished. And then on this one, looks like they only use 3 rhinestones. I can see a little bit of them. They've got 1. Oh, again, you know what? I'm going to also say that if I'm only using 3 and I want to use 1 big one and then the other 2 are small, then I put the big one by itself. So that one's going to be down at the bottom. And then the 2 up here are going to be the small ones. And that kind of doesn't really look like a triangle. Maybe obtuse triangle. I don't know, where your angle is bigger than 90-degree angle. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in geometry, and my kids are young enough that we haven't had those lessons yet to help me remember. But anyway, there is that card. So that is card number 3. So let's go ahead and pull in all 3 cards, and you can see them all together. They're so beautiful. Love the colors and the feelings, the watercolor landscapes. They're just gorgeous. Beautiful cards. So I'm really excited to get to play with this kit over the next couple days and create some alternative ideas for you. So please come back to my channel. Probably starting on Monday is when I will have my first alternative ready for you to see. And come back and check them out. And if you're interested, I'd love for you to make them. And I love to see what you've been inspired to create from my channel and my projects. So if you're on social media, you can always tag me with hashtag Creative Chelsey or at Creative Chelsey so that I can see those. It's been so great to be here with you this morning/afternoon and create these things. And I hope you have a creative day. Have a wonderful weekend starting tomorrow, and just enjoy this beautiful paper pumpkin box. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.